Hi, Scott here. Hope you're well. So a few things played out yesterday and are playing out right now. The pound did a bit of um, funny stuff yesterday because of news. But today is really exciting because there's so much to talk about and so many setups that are looking really, really nice. Finally, what we talked about yesterday was a lot of potential reversals happening because of MACD divergences on the 1 hour and trend lines breaking, that kind of thing. And they're playing out really nicely today. So hopefully there'll be some really nice trades installed for today. So let's get stuck straight into this. So share my screen, video off. Right, let's go. There's a lot to cover. So I'll try not to go too fast. I don't want to lose you. But at the same time, there's a lot to get through. So we'll start with Aussie CAD. What have we seen here on the daily? This is the higher time frames. Today we've had a downtrend the last few weeks. It's hit this level here, decelerating. So we've got big red candle, smaller red candle, smaller red candle, and then a small green candle yesterday. Nice deceleration, looking for a reversal and some kind of bullish pressure. Let's see what goes on here. We go to the hourly. So usually we have these three windows, the 4 hour, 5 minute and the 1 hour. But the most important one for most of what I talk about is the 1 hour. So we'll zoom in on that. And we can see that the big downswing here, kind of slowing down, double bottomish kind of thing here. If you look at the MACD, we see we've got similar lower lows, but really much higher lows here on the MACD. That's really giving us an indication that the selling pressure is waning and it's now time for the bulls to take over. So we had a good trend line here, clearly broken last night, and broken the 1 hour 50, just a little tiny bit. Nothing to trade from, but if we get a nice clear run up here. So I've done the fibs from the lows to where I guess the highs will go. So the 382 lines up nicely. And you'll be surprised how often this is very close or exact. So we expect this to hopefully it'll get a bit higher and up to about here somewhere. Pull back for an entry and trade up to the 4 hour 50. IBO, initial breakout. Looks nice and clean. There's not much, obviously a lot of work to do still. But later today, and it's on my goal list because it's broken the 1 hour 50, so the setup has begun. So keep an eye on that one. What I would do is I'd put an alert along about here somewhere, just kind of horizontal line. Little tips is what I like to do. You can put alerts on MAs as well, but you can't actually see them. You can't actually see the alerts on there. So I prefer to do it on a line, which is a very faint yellow line. Do right click, add alert on horizontal line, and you can set it up here. This is automatic, and then only once it crosses the line, and whatever sound you want, and whether you want an email notification or whatever. Create, and that alert will now see the alert symbol there, your alarm clock, which lets me know that should it cross that line, I want it to go up at least this high anyway, and then pull back. So when it crosses that line, I will then move this down here somewhere. So when it pulls back to the 1 hour 50, another alert, and then I'm really focusing on that trade and getting ready for the entry. So that's how I like to do it. I'll just delete that for a moment. So there's Aussie CAD. And there's quite a few Aussies here. Aussie Yen. So we've got this level here. Is this a level here? Probably is, about the same. Anyway, so we've had this down pressure the last few days and a bullish deceleration again. Small candle. 2 days ago, yesterday we got a bullish candle. So it looks like we're going to go long. we'll look at our hourly chart, and we'll see there was this line here, trend line, which was broken to some news event, which probably came back again. And then it's broken up very clearly yesterday, and now it trended up, and we've broken the 1 hour 50. And if you do the fibs from the lows to that high of that candle there, when you've got long wick candles, sometimes you can trim them. It gives you a nicer looking setup. If you trim that one there, we've then got to trim candles off of this one, which is not much difference, but now the 382 is too low, way below the 1 hour 50. We do have options in this case to go maybe below here. We're going to take these wicks off and go under here. Lines up quite nicely. But now we do our setup here. We've got a great risk reward here, 2.22 potentially, which is really nice. But the stop is a bit close for my liking. I wouldn't want to do that because it's just a bit too close. And there's a good chance, there's a chance that it will come down and wick you out. So it's best not to be greedy with these kind of trades. Oops, that's one of the buttons I want. And I think highs to lows, include that wick, pull back 1.3%, a few of those a week, and you'll be laughing. So that's putting it back now, looking quite nice, very good looking setup. Let's go to Aussie Kiwi. Aussie Kiwi, we've had this massive run up, and it's finally broken down on through the weekly. Big bearish candle this week, and we've got a breakdown now below the daily 50. Yesterday, decelerating a little bit maybe, but it's broken through day 50 quite strongly. So what do we have on the hourly? We've got this trend line which is broken. So the pip snatcher here is kind of setting up. 1 hour 50 is a bit far behind. See this latest run down was very strong. It pulled away from the 1 hour 50 quite a long way. Now one stage you have to pull back to the 1 hour 50. So this is a warning sign. There's a long way for it to pull back to the 1 hour 50. If it pulls back to the 1 hour 50, it could be a reversal, trend change. What other warning signs can we have? This quite a strong trend line here has been broken and retested last night. So that could be also an indication that we're going to have some kind of reversal. Look at the MACD. Wow, okay, here's a really big warning sign. Lower lows on the price action and significantly higher lows on the MACD. That's a big warning sign. So this pip snatcher, I would definitely advise against that one. Although it does look quite tempting. When you look at these other factors, it's not good. So what I would do, I would wait for some kind of proof that we've got a trend reversal and then a reversal back up. So we've got the daily 50 in the way, which is kind of annoying. It could spoil things a little bit. Look at the daily. Maybe we're just going to pull back to the daily 50 and carry on short. That's fine. Go back to the hourly, have a look how that will play out. So 4 hour 50 is right back here. Who knows? Who knows how it will play out? But it's probably not going to be a trade here. Trading the daily 50 up long is kind of against the overall trend. So trading through the day 50 is not a good idea. A bit unpredictable, and the 4 hour 50 is quite a way behind. So should it break the 1 hour 50, it's probably hit the daily 50, the 1 hour 50, then you've got to trade through the 1 hour 50 and the daily 50 to reach where the 4 hour 50 will be. So I'd say that one's going nowhere. I'll put it into my watching, not interested for those reasons. Aussie USD. Whoops, that's not right, is it? It's the right watch list, I go in the right order. Swissian. So it doesn't look very appealing on the daily chart. We've been going kind of sideways. But I did notice on the 1 hour chart, we've got a pretty nice looking Just bring this down a little bit. That's better. So we've got a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 pullback expected, and the wave 5 long. So we've got our 5 waves in there. And we've got a nice strong break of the 4-hour 50 now and the 1-hour 50. They're pretty close. So the setup looks quite nice for CBO. Complete breakout, breakout 4-hour 50 and the 1-hour 50. Should it pull back to the 382? It lines up very well with the 1-hour 50. The 4-hour 50 will be just behind. So that's long before our stop, which goes behind the 618. And that's a very nice looking setup. 1.6%, pretty good. That's to these highs, which lines up with these highs. So that's probably as far as I want to push it. Yeah, so that's a potential. The only negative really is the fact that daily is a bit choppy and sideways. Euro yen. So you may find with Swiss yen, for example, Aussie yen gives you a better setup, better looking trade. So Euro yen, similar kind of thing. It's been chopping around a bit. Nice bullish day yesterday after some great deceleration. A couple of doji candles, and then long yesterday. So again, that looks like a nice CBO setup, breaking above the 4-hour 50, this blue line, and the 1-hour 50, this red line. Pull back to the 382, and 4-hour 50 is just behind it, long before our stop. On 618. So that is a nice looking setup. Where do you take it to? These highs would be a good target. These highs here. So that would be 3%. So that's a better looking yen setup, I'd suggest. Look at the Elliott wave. Ignore this spike here because it's news related. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So we'll do a full extension on it and see where we think wave 5 will finish. If this is wave 3, from there, from the beginning of wave 3 to the end of wave 3, pull back to where wave 2, sorry, wave 4 will potentially finish. Maybe we'll just test the 4-hour 50, come down here somewhere, we'll go to 0.5. Wave 5, we'll expect to go to 0.618, all the highs. So although you may have your high set up here, be aware when you hit this level, be ready to take some profits. Take profit. If you get any kind of resistance at this level, 0.618, then be aware it could easily, that could be wave 5 complete and it could be pulling back. You don't want to sit there with your mouth open watching your profits disappear. So even up here at 0.618, still getting 2%. That's still a very nice looking trade. So that's what I would do if I was you. I'd set profits up here and keep an eye on it once it reaches this level, 0.618 level. Okay, let's look at Euro Kiwi. What do we have here then? So we're stalling at this level here, this resistance level. We revisited it recently, now we're breaking down. That's good looking short trade. DDP for today is short. And looking at the 1-hour chart, we've got a big pull down here for wave 1, wave 2, the middle of wave 3 right now. Wave 3 could be broken into 5 waves, it's all fractal. This could be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, maybe wave 4, wave 5 already. Or maybe this is still wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, I don't know. Anyway, so CBO looks nice, or the IBO C. This is looking like it could set up for it. Pulls back now. It's got to pull back through the daily pivot, back up to the 382, which is from the highs to the lows. If it does pull back to 382, that'd be an IBO C because we've already reached the 4-hour 50. This blue line, and you have to trade through it again. Nevertheless, we do have an obvious trend reversal, so the chances of the RBOC being successful are much higher. We've got a definite lower lows, and these lows and these lows, lower low, lower high, this high to this high to this high, lower highs. Definite trend change. That's looking very nice. Okay, IBO stands for initial breakout. This was the initial breakout. This was a second initial breakout. Okay, that was a discretionary IBO. This is going to be a discretionary IBO because it's already done an IBO twice. It's not really an IBO. If it does pull back, that'll still be a very tempting trade. You may find it just pulls back to the pivot and then breaks down here. And what we see is a CBO setup. And that would mean the 1 hour 50 will catch up, but here somewhere, CBO, the price action breaks below the 4 hour 50, pulls back. That could be late today or maybe tomorrow if that one plays out. So there's a few options there. Take profit, these lows are really obvious initial price target. When it sets up nicely, you can do your fib extensions and then get an idea for where you think the price target should be. Let's go to Euro USD. Slurp some juice down. So it had a breakdown from this trend line. It didn't come back to these lows. Decelerating, decelerating. 2 doji candles in a row. That's great deceleration. So it looks like it's going to go long today. What do you see on the hourly chart? You see lots of stalling at this level, as we'd expect from those doji candles. We need to see a break up above the 1 hour 50. So maybe this level, break down, entry here, and that's the 4 hour 50. So that's a potential trade for later. That should really be a blue one, shouldn't it? Because it's not setting up right now. Cubic head? No, Euro USD goes to pound yen next. Pound yen. So the pound, because of the news yesterday, we had some interesting response and we had a very bullish day, quite contrary to what the candles were telling us before that. So there's quite a few pound ones which are looking similar, but I don't like them for various reasons. I'm not going to go through them just for the amount of time it will take, but we'll look at this one as an example. The pound yen is broken up very strongly through the daily 50. We go to the hourly chart. We're looking like we may be getting a pullback for a CBO. If we look at the edit wave, maybe that's wave 1, wave 2 pullback. Wave 3, there's a slight stalling here, the daily 50, this faint green line. And wave 4 pullback and a wave 5. So this is probably the best looking pound pair that I saw. There are many others that are quite similar, but don't look quite as good to me. So we've got a pullback. I did the fib from here. We could also do the fib from the lows. The daily pivots here as well. The daily 50 is here as well. So it's quite a crowded area. Lots of reason to protect our stop. 4 hour 50 just behind as well. So that could be a nice little CBO, but it just doesn't look like very nice price action to me. So I personally will put that down as a secondary and think about it some more. It may be better, but there are better yen pairs in this instance. Right, next one, Kiwi CAD. We stalled here, reversed a few days ago, heading back up to this strong trend line. It's been holding for quite a while. Bit of room there. What does the lower time frame do? It's just that trend line here. Try and continue it just roughly the same. So it's above the daily 20. It's good, which is this red line. Right. So CBO, we've already had the IBO, and now we're waiting for it to break this 4 hour 50 high up to about here somewhere, pull back, and that will give us a few 4 hour candles there for the CBO to give us a nice break and retest on the 4 hour chart. So that could be say 5 candles 20 hours away. It could be late today or it could be tomorrow. Get a nice CBO and then play up to the daily 20. Entry at the 382, 4 hour 50, 1 hour 50 of time to catch up, and then stop behind 618. So that looks like a good possibility there for a nice little setup. What else we've got? Kiwi yen, similar looking thing. Very bullish day yesterday, a bit of room for the daily 20, not too much, but we don't need much. Here we've got wave on these lows, wave 1, wave 2 pullback, this is wave 3, wave 4 pullback is kind of happening about now. Pullback to 382, 4 hour 50, 1 hour 50 catching up. Another nice little CVO. Could be a nice one as well, I like that one. So quite a few yen pairs giving some nice looking options here. Kiwi USD, still at this level, a bit bullish yesterday, not particularly convincing. What does the lower time frames give us? A bit messy, isn't it? It's a bit kind of sideways for the last day or so. It could pull up here to give us a nice clean break to that level, clean pullback, and that's 450. But I have to say it doesn't look that appealing to me. It looks a little bit too messy, so I'll definitely put that on my secondary. Dollar CAD. So a few pauses, we'll have a quick drink. So dollar CAD, we've had this stalling at this high level up here. Is that a strong level? These highs here, stalling at that level. Anything else? Again, we go to the monthly. We can click on that. The time is synchronized between these layouts. Nothing really there. A little bit higher. There's definitely some kind of level there. It's bouncing off for bounce, bounce, bounce. And go back to this one as well. Have a look. And that one, that level there is about there. Which is probably where we had it originally. So it's a kind of level. Yes, there we go. There's a kind of level there. Happy enough with that. And what do we have here? We have lower highs. This high to these highs here, lower highs. I see this trend line along here. It's not, this is that news event a few days ago. Not too worried about those candles, but we go from these candles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches or more. Quite a strong trend line. The 1 hour 50 is just here. So if we get a break of the 1 hour 50, famous arrows, break of the 1 hour 50, break of the trend line, come down to about here somewhere, fall back to the 1 hour 50. There'd be a nice little IBO. Obviously, wouldn't happen there. That'd happen back here somewhere, and yeah, something like that. Could be a nice little IBO later today, perhaps, or maybe tomorrow. Probably later today. Dollar Swiss. Again, we're up at this level, which is a major level because of these highs here, touching here, and it's rejecting that. Although yesterday was a doji candle, does that mean it's going to reverse? No, not necessarily. It could just be a pause and reflection though. So are we going down today or not? I haven't put an arrow on there, wonder why. So I can remember. So we've had the strong trend line broken. So broken the 1 hour 50 and broken the 1 hour 50 again. Not convincing though, right? Broken above, broken below, broken above. Is it going to go down again? That could set up for an IBO. If it did, using these fibs, it would do something. Okay, something like this, and then this, and then this. But what does that give us? That gives us this low here, this low here, and this low here. So we've actually got higher lows, lower highs, higher lows, which means what? Nothing. It's not a clear trend. So I'll just put that there just as a talking point to show you why I don't like it. Okay, dollar yen. So we had that clear breakout yesterday, and it's quite a strong bullish looking candle. It looks a bit squished because of the strong uptrend we've had. It's quite a bullish looking candle yesterday. So what do we have on the hourly chart? Right, another talking point. I don't like this. I'll explain why. Okay, so this is setting up for a potential pip snatcher. 1-to-1, enter around the pivot, stop behind the S1, and take profit of 1% at these highs or below. It looks pretty good, but I don't like it because what I've found is this trend line pretty much follows the 1 hour 50. Right, it's pretty close. And now we've broken away significantly. And when that happens, I mean, there's a chance this pip snatcher will play out, but it's not a 70 or 80% chance. It may be 50-50. Because it's broken away, there's a good chance we'll get a good retracement. When it pulls back down to the 1 hour 50, that could be the end of this. Is there anything on the MACD or the RSI? MACD, no, we're still getting higher highs. Although I remember yesterday I did mention I like to put a kind of trend line there. And if you do the lows on the MACD, we've already broken that significantly. It's going to pull back even further. So it's going to be significantly broken. So that's a no-no for me as well. Do a similar thing on the RSI. So how you do it, some kind of level up here. And then significantly broken that. It's very, very overbought on the 1 hour RSI. Very much broken. All of those are warning signs to me that this is not going to be a happy ending for us if we take a long pip snatcher. So I'll be waiting for something like that kind of breakdown. So that one is a talking point, not a good trade. Okay, so that's the ones that are setting up right now. Let's quickly fly through some which may set up the next day or so. It was good to try and look ahead. So we've got a doji candle here in Aussie Swiss yesterday. Not great deceleration, but what does the 1 hour give us? We had this very strong trend line, which was broken and retested. 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 touches. Break, retest. And so what we want to see now is a break of the 1 hour 50 up to around here somewhere, pull back to 382. That'll be a nice IBO. Aussie USD. Great deceleration. Doji yesterday, looking for a long today. Strong trend line, significantly broken, going sideways. So again, we want to see a break of the 1 hour 50, pull up to here. Things moved. Interesting. Okay, so break up here, around here somewhere, pull back to 1 hour 50 to 382, that's the 4 hour 50. There's a nice little IBO. Here at Aussie, we see here. Still at this level. Doji candle yesterday. Do we have any breakdown on the 1 hour chart? Not yet. So we've got this very nice strong trend line. And it's pulled back to it. It's tested many times back here, here. But it's been retesting it recently. We want to take it long, so I'm waiting for a short trade. And what we're going to do is see this break down below. Back to here somewhere. That's a nice little IBO short. Euro USD. We went through USD earlier, so we're going to do it again. And Kiwi Swiss. So I was expecting it to pull down back to this major level, but it's been decelerating. We've got 2 dojis in a row, and then we had this bullish candle yesterday. So it's looking like it's going long. Do you have any proof on the lower time frame? Well, we've got this trend line break, and probably a retest there. By looks of it, yeah, retest. So definitely a trend change. Higher highs, higher lows. The IBO never really happened. One happened here, but that was more news than anything, so that didn't play out. But I will be waiting for a clean break of this 4 hour 50, and then give it 1 hour 50 time to catch up, and we can take it up to the day 20. So that's something to wait for as well. Okay, let's see if my video is going to work today. No, computer's struggling for memory. Okay, so there we go. There's my watch list. Quite a few things in there. Quite a lot of exciting stuff. Bit of education for you today as well. I hope you found it interesting and useful. And I wish you all the best in the markets. I will catch up with you tomorrow, which will be Fun Coupon Friday day. So have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you tomorrow. All the best.